It seems like Jaimi's spirit from Million Dollar Secret almost sent her home, because it seems like people are not letting her live that moment down in the house. People are holding it against her. And to me, it seems like a lot of people in that house don't like her. Now, Jaimi's been getting a lot of flack online, and I understand why. What she did with Lauren at the round table, it was mean, it was petty, it was a bit too much. But it's not like it came out of nowhere. It's not like it came out unprovoked. Lauren was chatting shit about Sydney. Sydney was chatting shit about Lauren. Jaimi was chatting shit about Lauren. And Lauren was probably chatting shit about Jaimi too. Everybody's chatting shit about each other. And on top of that, the way that Lauren handled her reveal and the kind of bragging about it and the kind of sneak dissing people about it, that rubbed people the wrong way. So I can see why Jaimi came for her at the round table. Did it need to be as mean and as petty? No. But it didn't come out of nowhere. And I just think that is being blown out of proportion. I don't think anyone was bullied. And I feel like people are acting like Jaimi spat on Lauren and called her something like. And I also find it quite interesting that the concentration of hate just seems to be focused on Jaimi and Jaimi alone. There are some people talking about Chris, there are some people talking about Sydney and talking about them as a group, as a collective of mean people. But I feel like the majority of the focus seems to be on Jaimi, and I just find that very suspicious. I find that very suspicious and very interesting. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Jaimi has caught all this flack, and I'm not surprised that she's catching the flack for what she said to Lauren in the house too. Let's talk about the dynamics in the house. Like I said, everybody's focusing on Jaimi. Nobody has said anything to Chris. Lydia, who has this big problem with Jaimi talking about she's been so cruel to Lauren, she's even saying this to Chris and not acknowledging that he was basically as bad as Lauren. Maybe, 2 degrees less. The burn was 2 degrees less. But he came for Lauren very hard as well. And Lydia's talking about Jaimi was so cruel to Chris, of all people. Interesting. Following up from that point, Jaimi should have known better than to come for Lauren in that way. Even if it was warranted, even if it was justified, she shouldn't have come for Lauren that way, because, like I've been saying, this show works on stereotypes. And what is she coming across as? The angry black woman. And you're not allowed to be the angry black woman, because people are going to come for you and they're going to punish you 10 times worse. Sydney chatted the most shit about Lauren in the show, more than Jaimi. And she's white, so she can get away with it. Jaimi, you can't get away with it, sorry, Horn. And then Chris, nobody even batted an eyelid. Because men can get away with being mean, and then he's white on top of that. Ironclad. The fact that he even acknowledges it himself, he can say anything that he wants and no one's gonna come after him. He even knows. That's how sick it is. He didn't get no heat whatsoever for how hard he came for Lauren. No heat. Ridiculous. But people are ready to send Jaimi home without so much as a conversation, mind you. Like, not even sitting her down to be like, we didn't even appreciate how you spoke to Lauren. It's just straight up, you're gone. Like I said, unfortunately, you can't be the angry black woman. You can't be mean. You can't be nothing. You have to be nice. Because when you're coming onto this show, when you're black, you've got to be the nice, wholesome black girl. You've got to, you've got to be the funny, the entertainment. And I think Jaimi is providing entertainment, but because she's being a bit mean, being a bit petty, it's not boding well. And I think now she's kind of been pinned as the annoying black woman. And basically, after Lydia goes out, people are talking about who they voted for. People are lying. People are smart and they're lying, right? Jaimi comes out and she's like, yeah, I voted for Lydia because, yeah, I thought she was a millionaire. And it's very clear that she had a problem with Lydia. And obviously, Lydia insulted her in front of everyone and said basically nice things about everyone else. So she's feeling a type of way. But I was like, Jaimi, you shouldn't have said that. You should have lied and said that you voted for someone else. Because when people have nothing to go by, they clutch at straws. And it's just basically like, well, we don't really know who it is. And you are the only person who's given us evidence pointing to them being the millionaire. So we're just going to go for you. And then on top of that, we don't like you anyway. So this is just easy for us to get you out. And honestly, I think that's what it was, She said that, she voted for Lydia. Personally, I think it was obvious that she wasn't the millionaire. But this is the only quote-unquote evidence that they have. They don't like her. This is the opportunity to get her out. And she was definitely on her way out. Like I've been saying, it's very clear that people don't like her. Even Corey, she don't even have black solidarity in the house, because she was defending herself, talking about, it's not me. And Corey saying, well, you're defensive back. I was like, oh, not you as well, Corey. So she doesn't even have black solidarity in the house. It's sad. So at this point, it's looking like she's going out. She's trying her best to be like, it's not me, let's think about who it will be. Like, picking me is the stupid option, like it's too obvious, we've got to find the millionaire. And nobody's really enthusiastic about finding somebody else. Everybody seems to be happy that if she goes, like, whether she's a millionaire or not, people are just happy that, this is a chance to get her out. But I guess maybe she was praying to the ancestors, because the spirits came through. Because when Corey goes into the trophy room, he chooses to look into Jaimi's box to see if she's the millionaire or not. Obviously, it's empty. Comes back to tell the group, which clears her name. So Jaimi survives another day. But if the spirits, the good spirits, didn't come through, she definitely would have been a goner. And yeah, it proves, you can't be coming in being petty, being mean, especially when you're black, because the punishment is always 10 times worse than everybody else. You got to keep things cute. You got to keep things civil. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see where the rest of Jaimi's gameplay goes, because it seems like people are willing to throw her under the bus because of what she said about Lauren. Her name was constantly in Lydia's mouth. Her name's constantly in Sam's mouth when it comes to throwing people under the bus. Chris, who was her ally, got sent home. I mean, she's got Sydney left. It seems like her and Sydney have this alliance. So I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how she fares, because she hasn't got popularity on her side. But at the same time, because she was so defensive, people automatically thought that she was guilty. But because she was not guilty, now people are going to second guess her if she was to be the one that ends up being the millionaire. So perhaps that could be work in her favour. But again, I just feel like because people don't like her, they're going to vote her out. But if she ends up winning, I'd be very impressed. Obviously, there's going to be a new millionaire at the beginning of the next batch of episodes. I think it's going to be quite interesting if it's Jaimi. But I got to hear from you guys. What do we think about Jaimi? Do we feel like people need to let this Lauren situation go? Do you feel like... Or do you feel like her being voted off because of this situation is karma? Do you feel like the backlash is deserved? Do you think it's been too much? Do you feel like people are not scrutinising Chris and Sydney as much? Particularly Chris as much? Online and in the game, but in the game especially. Why do you think the focus was on Jaimi so much in the game with the other contestants, whilst it seems like Sydney and Chris have got off scot-free from that whole situation? And do you think Jaimi has the potential to win it all? I've got to hear from you guys.